Hey, how's everybody? So about this time every year, I have a lot of new teachers reaching out to me, asking me questions like, which pension plan should I choose? What's the best way for me to get set up? Can you help me figure all this stuff out? Now, while I love to meet with everyone to go through it all, I don't have the time to do that. So instead, I was going to make this video to show you what I would personally do if I was in your shoes. So this is not advice, this is my own personal opinion. If you want more information on Plan 2 versus Plan 3, your retirement benefits, I have all those videos already up on my YouTube channel, so go ahead and check them out. And I had recorded a full video for new hires last year that I'll link right up here. So you really want to get into the weeds of it, you can check that video out. So if I was personally starting off as a teacher or a new hire in the state this year, this is how I would personally set myself up. So when it comes to between Plan 2 and Plan 3, Plan 2 is now the default option. So I would go with Plan 2 over Plan 3. Personally, because I like the higher guaranteed benefit that Plan 2 offers, and I still have the ability to save on my own without being forced into an investment account with only pre-tax investments, and the investments are very limited. So I would personally go with Plan 2. Now just a quick refresh, Plan 2 is a 2% benefit you earn every year. Plan 3 you only get 1, but you also get this investment account on the side. It's pre-tax only. You're forced to save at least 5% into it. The amount that you set at the beginning of your career is then locked in until you change employers. And you have about 13 investment options. So I'm not a big fan of all those restrictions on that Plan 3 account, plus you only get that 1% benefit. So for those reasons, I would personally go with Plan 2. But Plan 2, the shortfall there is it doesn't have a savings component. And it's always good to have money go on the side, because in retirement, there's going to be things that come up. You're going to need a new car eventually, replace tires on them, fixing up the house, going on vacation. So having cash on the side for retirement is still important. And if you just go with Plan 2 and don't do anything else, then the problem you're going to run into is you're basically going to be living paycheck to paycheck in retirement. Granted, that paycheck's probably going to be higher than it would elsewise be if you're on Plan 3. Now, so what I would personally do is I would go and set up a separate retirement account on the side. So you have the ability to save through your DCP account, but again, that's pre-tax only. It's pretty much the same thing as Plan 3. The investments are the exact same, so you don't get a whole lot of flexibility as in terms of investments there. So personally, looking at where our country is today tax-wise, we're at some of the lowest tax rates we've ever seen, and the current tax law is set to expire in 2025 and then go higher. Plus, with all the debt we printed off last year and stimulus bills, that's just put further pressure for taxes to go up. So I personally take advantage of this low tax bracket, especially because as a new teacher you're not making that much, and using what they call a Roth IRA or Roth 403B. Now Roth just means I'm going to put money into an account and I'm going to be paying my taxes on it today. Now any growth I get in that account is mine tax free. So consider it like paying cash for something. I pay cash for it now, I own it, and I don't owe any interest on it. That's kind of what a Roth does. If you use the pre-tax accounts like the DCP or the Plan 3, you're kind of buying things on credit. I'm going to put money in there. They're not going to take my tax from me today, but in the future, they're going to tax me on my own contributions plus any growth I get down the road. And if you're a new teacher, that's going to be 30 or 40 years worth of savings and interest that's going to balloon up, and then you're going to pay taxes on the entire amount. So if I was a new teacher, I'd go Plan 2 with either a Roth IRA, or if your school district allows it, a Roth 403B account. They work pretty much the same. The main difference there is Roth 403B is done through your employer, and you can save up to 3 times more. So you can go up to $19,000 per year on a tax-free basis, and there's also no income limitations to there. So you can have a wider range there, and you don't have to worry about getting cut off if you were to move up the pay scale enough where you're no longer eligible to use a Roth IRA. So currently those limits are about $198,000 for married couples, about $124,000 for single individuals. So no new hire has to really worry about that for quite some time, but just something to be aware of that if you have a Roth IRA, eventually you may run into that problem down the road. And one thing I just know a lot of people kick themselves with is not setting up a Roth IRA earlier in their career, is they wait too long, and then by the time they think about getting it, their income is already past that point and they can no longer use that benefit. So either get yourself a Roth IRA started or a Roth 403B, just so you can have some kind of tax-free savings for your future. Because it's a tax-free asset, anything you take from the future is again tax-free, And if it transfers to a beneficiary, whether it be your kid or spouse or whoever, it goes to them tax-free. So it just makes things so much simpler if you just bite the bullet and pay your taxes just this one time. As far as how much should I be saving on the side, well, anything is better than nothing. I'd rather see somebody put $25 a month away for their retirement than do nothing at all. Because while you're young and you might have student loan bills, trying to save up for down payment for a home and things like that, it's not going to get any easier. And procrastinating your retirement savings is really what leads to a lot of problems down the road for people, is they think things are going to get easier and move up the pay scale more. When I get the next student loan paid off, when I pay this car off. But the longer you wait, chances are things really don't get much easier. They just get a little different. Maybe you own a house, then maybe you move to a different house, maybe you have kids, marriage, divorce. So there's a lot of different life events that are going to happen between now, starting your career, and before you retire at 65. So if you bite the bullet now and just think of this as your retirement bill, not as an optional thing, if you think, hey, this is my retirement bill for myself, and you can treat it that way and just make sure you pay this bill every single month, your future self is going to thank you. Because remember, the only person that's going to take care of your future self is your current self. So think of the retirement bill as a mandatory payment to make. Now, most experts, you recommend saving 15% of your income for your retirement savings. So those are good numbers to use for people in their 20s and 30s. If you're in your 40s or 50s, you're probably going to have to save more than that if you haven't been saving already. So you may have to try to go to 20% or higher. Now, I've never had anyone complain that they put too much my way for retirement. It's usually the opposite. So 15% for people in their 20s or 30s is a pretty good target to hit. Of course, if you can't get there, no worries. You got to start somewhere and just slowly work your way up. Now, one mistake I see a lot of people make is that when it comes to their retirement savings, one spouse may be putting away, say, 15% and hitting their mark, but the other spouse isn't really doing much. So when you do the 15%, it has to be 15% of your total household income, not just off of one person's salary. Because if you guys are both making $50,000 a year, one person's putting away 15, the other person's putting away nothing, you're really only saving about 7.5% of your total household income. Therefore, you're falling behind retirement goals. So everyone needs to be on the same page. And the same can be said that if one spouse is putting away 7%, the other spouse is putting away 8%, a lot of people will add them up like, hey, no, that's 15%, we're there. And that's not how it works. It has to be 15% of each person's pay, so the household income adds up to that 50% mark. One other thing to consider is that you want to count your retirement savings across the board. So for people on Plan 2, you are saving into the pension plan. So they have a requirement, use 7 or 8% that goes to pay for your Plan 2 pension. I would personally count that towards retirement savings goals, because this is money you're putting away for your retirement. So if 8% of your pay is being held to put into the Plan 2 system, then all you have to make up is that 7% on your own, and then you'd have 15% of your income going towards retirement savings. For people on Plan 3, if you're stuck at the 5% level, then you're responsible for saving 10% more on your own somewhere else. So if you can, strive to hit the 15%, and again, treat it as a retirement bill, as a mandatory payment, just like you would your food, your house, or your car payment. And if you can pay yourself first before you go ahead and splurge and spend on other things, you're going to set yourself up for success down the road, and it's going to build really good financial habits. So that's my opinion on how I would be set up as a new teacher. Go Plan 2 with about 15% or 7% in that case going towards Roth IRA or Roth 401k of some kind. That way, fast forward in the future, if I put in, say, 30 years of service in Plan 2, I'm going to get 60% of my paycheck for life, plus I'm going to have a large bucket of money that's completely tax-free to use however I want to. Plus you're going to have a large bucket of money that's completely tax-free to do with whatever you want. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of life events along the way, so it may not go exactly as planned, but the point with the financial plan is keep it fluid, start with the end in mind, and then you can work towards doing it that way. And if things come along the way, you can adjust accordingly. So again, this is just my opinion. You're welcome to make any decision you want because it's your retirement that you're in charge of and you're responsible for your own decisions. So I hope this video helps you guys out and gives you some direction of ways you could potentially set yourself up for some financial success. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and share it with a friend. And I'll see you guys next week. And remember that your future depends on what you do today.